So today we're going to do a reading called How Do We Get Through This Transition? So the first thing I'm hearing is there is more to come. This is just the beginning. Spirit is also saying faith without action is dead, and that your faith is no good if it's not accompanied with good works. Don't worry, we're going to get to the bottom of this. I'm hearing we are at a crossroads for humanity. They're saying there is no turning back now and that the foundation has been laid. They're saying that the trip you have embarked on is becoming clear, but not yet. There's a little bit more to go. The transition is like a bridge time, or it's like a time when we're traveling from one location to the other. So when I'm seeing a traveler traveling at night and they're going up a hill, they can't really see where they're going yet because it's dark out. They've got like this hill that's blocking out the view. And they're saying there's still some ways to go, but they're saying where you are now is not where you're going. It is not indicative of where we're going at all. They're saying just because things feel hard right now does not mean they always will. Just because things feel hard at this moment does not mean they always will. Spirit is saying there has to be a time to process. And when I'm hearing the word process, it feels like there's a process that's needing to happen. So it's like if you're going from one world to the next or one location to the next, they're saying that there has to be these processes that have to be fulfilled to get you to where you're needing to go. Processes have to be fulfilled. Kind of like if you're going to have a baby, your body needs to be healthy. You have to be getting enough rest. You have to be drinking enough water. And then there's a 9-month period of waiting, and then you have the baby. So it feels like when they're saying like processes, if you're going to write a book, even if you have the ideas and all the research and all the study and the outline, there's still the process of writing the book. And then there's the process of getting it out there. So Spirit is saying we're in a transition time and we feel this need to shoot forward into the future really far, like really shoot forward. It feels like a pressure cooker. But Spirit's saying there still are these processes that need to be fulfilled. Spirit is showing me Christmas trees, and they're saying that just as Christmas trees give this feeling of hope for the future, there's this hope and excitement of Christmas morning, but Christmas as a theme or as an archetype, the holiday of Christmas, is this reminder of our humanity. It's this reminder of that we're all brothers and sisters, and it's this feeling of having goodwill towards man, towards our neighbors, towards strangers, towards our family. And back in ancient Celtic times, the ancient oak tree was like the first Christmas tree. And the ceremonies around that were all about winter solstice, the celebration of the sun coming out again, of the days slowly getting longer. And so the Christmas tree is really steeped in these messages and symbol of that there is truly hope in humanity and there's hope in our life, and that the sun is just around the corner. I'm getting chills. Spirit is saying collectively and in our individual lives, it could feel like we're almost at winter solstice and it's the darkest time of the year. But they're saying, yes, there is still some time to go before we get to the summer solstice in June, but the light is coming. And that they're saying during this time of transition, during this time of getting from one location to the other, there are going to be Christmas trees along the way, meaning there are going to be these moments of hope and unity within humanity and within your life that you're going to be like, yes, this is all worth it. Yes, things are not going to be hard forever. Yes, like the light is coming. And the reason why Spirit was saying faith without action is dead is you had faith in your dreams. You had faith in what you wanted. You had hope and faith for what you wanted. But now allow us to get there. now allow us to receive that? Can we allow these processes that have to take place occur, even if they're uncomfortable? Will you still be strong during this process? Will you not only say like, yes, I have faith, I'm going to do this, but will you keep taking those steps forward, even while it's still dark out, even while it's still winter solstice? Will you still move forward because you have faith, because you know that the light is coming? But we still have to go through these processes to get there. They're saying don't lose hope while we're still in the darkness. Don't lose hope while we're in the darkest hour. So it's like being at midnight. We still have some processes to get till morning and then to get to midday. But they're saying don't lose hope as we're going through these processes. Don't lose hope. Spirit is giving me this feeling of the hero's journey. They keep showing me these images of someone on a journey, someone with a stick over their shoulder with a kerchief tied around the end of the stick. And this feels very like fated, meaning like if you are hearing this reading, there's an inner knowing, you know that this is for you. You know that you have a specific mission and destiny. You're like, yes, I already know. You are beholden to this destiny. It's why you're here. You are going to accomplish it. It's like if you ever read, I posted, it's called Why You're Here, Accepting Your Cup in the Presence of Enemies. I'll link it down below in the written portion. If you read that written reading and you resonate with that, this is for the same exact collective. This will be true for you. So what I am saying is, because you have this mission to be here on earth at this time and to do certain things in your own life that you already know and feel in your heart and you're being led towards, it's almost like there's going to be these points along the way of this journey, these different choice points. I call them choice points, but the choice is a little bit of an illusion. They're like tests along the journey. And the purpose of these tests, it's almost like sustenance. It's almost like it's giving you something you need to accomplish your mission. Let me explain. So there's this book that I owned when I was little, and now I read it to my children. It's called Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters. And it's an African tale. I think it's won the Coretta Scott King Award for illustration. It's like a beautiful African folktale. And essentially it's about these two princesses. They're sisters, but they might be twins. I can't remember. But they're sisters. And one of them is the true princess because her heart is pure. But then the other princess is very selfish. So one of the princesses is very much living in the resonance of beauty and love and growth and evolution and purity and curiosity. And then the other sister is living through more self-preservation and suspicion and shame and selfishness and those attributes. And so the father is essentially having the daughters go to meet this king, and only one of the girls will get to be the queen. Essentially, the sisters have to go on this journey through the jungle or through the forest to reach the kingdom where their destiny lies, where one of their destiny lies. That's where they're fated to be. And one sister is fated to be this queen. And so as they go through the jungle and the forest, they meet these different people along the way. I think one of them is like this little orphan child who needs food, and they are asked to give up something that they really need and take care of this orphan. I can't remember if he needs food or a coat, something like that. And then they meet someone who is an old man who is like severely disabled. And I believe there's 3 choice points along the way, or 3 tests. And so the daughter, who essentially meets all of these people in need and gives and shows love along the way, ends up, getting to the kingdom. And the king essentially was like, I shape-shifted into the orphan. I shape-shifted into the old man or the old woman. I shape-shifted into the last person. I can't remember who the third one was. And the beauty of your heart stood out. Even on this difficult journey, I saw who you really were. And it kind of reminds me of the archetype of Christ. I believe Christ says, whoever helps the least of these, whoever helps the immigrant, the stranger in this country, whoever helps the widow, whoever helps the child, whoever helps the people that are in poverty, all the people who are marginalized and vulnerable, whoever helps the least of these knows who I really am, is actually helping me. This folktale really has the resonance of that. And so it feels like there is this destiny that feels really big. It feels really important. It feels almost like you would be like, oh, I really want this in my life, but it feels too good to be true. And then Spirit's saying, no. You came here for this purpose. And this is like a destiny that is beautiful for you as an individual, but it's going to give back to so many others. And it feels like it's been promised to you. And it's kind of like, you're meant to make this journey. And these quote unquote choice points along the way that kind of give the illusion of choice. And I only say the illusion of choice because was it really a choice for the daughter who had purity? And purity meaning there isn't a manipulative motive in her. Purity just means the opposite of manipulation. It doesn't mean virginal purity or anything like that. I didn't know if I should clarify that. So is it really a choice for her to be loving and kind? No, of course not. And is it a choice for the daughter who, is more out for herself to consistently have that behavior? The feeling along this journey is, I keep being put in these positions where I thought this was going to happen, but it's like, it almost could feel like a delay, when these people show up in this folktale. And you could even read this book because this is what Spirit's showing me for this time of transition. They're like, read this book again. This is actually what it is. Archetypally, this is true right now. Where the orphan shows up or the old man, it can feel like a delay. Like, why am I being delayed again? Why am I being asked to give? Like, I actually need this for my journey. In my heart, I could feel the energy of where I was going or what I was meant to pursue. So why is this happening? Spirit is saying they feel like tests or choice points, but that's an illusion because you've already passed. But Spirit is showing me that these little landmarks or situations come up because there's something about transmuting karma and it's leaving old karma behind every single time you're passing. So it's old karma. It doesn't mean karma from you, but it's like the old karma of the earth, the old gross way of doing things, the way of doing things that's all about like power or all about proving your identity based on ego, kind of like having to put other people down or hurt other people to get ahead. It's almost like these delays that require sacrifice in the story, meaning like the little boy needs, I can't remember it exactly, but it's like essentially the little boy needs a piece of bread. And it's like doing this is changing the universe. It's changing the matrix. And so you have this magnificent journey with this beautiful destiny. And along the way, you're going to face these points. They feel make or break. And they could be really small. Like they could be just really small of like, how will I react in this situation? And it's like we're handling situations, even like emotionally, in a new way, in a way that maybe we didn't in the past, or maybe our ancestors didn't in the past, but we do change it now. And the way we handle things emotionally and in our actions makes all the difference in the world. It completely changes everything, and it gives us the destiny that we know is already ours. It's reminding me of this reading that I did on what would be the karma if I did this thing, and what would be the karma if I did this thing. Two different choices. And each of the decisions held karma that was essentially maybe not the best. And what Spirit was showing me is that it wasn't about the two decisions, meaning either decision could have good karma or bad karma. But it was like, if you are making the decision out of like, oh, this is my only option, I have to do this, I'm always stressed out, I'm always put upon, why is this always happening to me? And that's a totally normal way to feel. But Spirit is saying, if it's coming from this place of like lack, then the karma, meaning like the cause and effect later on, will also be more lack. Whereas if you're making this same decision of like, okay, this is an awesome opportunity for me to be freed up for something, or here is the beauty in this opportunity. Yes, I am making this decision out of wholeness. Even if it's a situation that I don't like that I'm in, I am going to make the decision to do this thing or to not do this thing out of a place of peace. So it was really all about the interior state. So even when making those two choices, we could look at things that will occur in that person's life. And one of the choices, could be the right choice, maybe the choice that's better. But when they're asking about the karma, they're asking more about residual energy, not about exactly what's going to happen. And so what changes the residual energy and what changes things to feel better and to start attracting better things is actually the emotional place or the internal empowerment and inner peace that you're making those decisions from. So even though you could be like, oh, I'm going to make this choice and it's going to give me this outcome, that will all be true. But if you're making it from this place of like fear or stress, which again is very understandable. I'm an anxious person, so I understand. But if you're making it from that place, it's going to create more of that until it's transmuted in the future. Like if you're planning to move, this is just an example. Even if you, for some reason, need to find a house in a really short amount of time, you can choose to be in that energy of desperation, or you can be like, you know what, this is a really short amount of time to find a house. Well, let's get going. I have faith. I'm going to say a prayer. I'm at peace and I know the right thing is going to find me. And it can be the same decision, but it's like a different energy that you're making it from. And it makes a huge difference. So there's been these times in my life where I knew that something was supposed to happen, or I'll use the moving analogy again. Like I knew I was meant to move, but maybe my partner at the time didn't feel that way, or I couldn't figure out how we were going to get from point A to point B in the timing that I knew had to happen. And so I would get so stressed out and freaked out. And this was back probably 8 years ago or so. I remember talking to this amazing intuitive counselor, and she was like, oh, it's going to happen anyway. You already know it's going to happen. And so she was like, instead of getting all stressed out and desperate and freaking out, trying to convince the people you're reliant on that have to go with you, just be like, you know what? If this is really meant to happen, I'm going to have peace in my heart and solidity and trust that. And I'm going to get in that mindset and then approach this in a way that is calm and methodical. And when I did that, it totally changed the energy. I had this piece of like, oh, well, if this is meant to happen, it's going to happen. And then it would start slowly happening, where the people that needed to figure that out on their own were like, you know what? I've been thinking about what you said. You know what? Maybe we should consider this, or maybe we should do this. And so Spirit is saying changing your energy towards the decisions makes just as much of a difference as the decisions. So are we having faith, meaning we're going towards our dreams, or we're going towards the things that we know are meant for us? Even though we're taking steps towards that and taking action towards that, are we still freaking out on the inside? Are we still stressing beyond belief? What emotions and energy are we putting towards our faith and our actions? Because that has just as much of an effect, Spirit's saying. So in this story, the daughter goes through the jungle and she goes on this journey towards her destiny. And when she is met with these 3 different choice points or tests or people that needed something from her or that delayed her journey, she didn't give them the bread or whatever it was and then be freaking out and being like, oh my God, what is happening? No, she was like, okay, I have faith, I have actions, and I'm actually going to let my emotions reflect that. The universe is a mirror or a reflection. And so as you hit each test, it evolves the universe and it evolves you, it pushes you forward. It's a little wave at your back. It's like, good job. And it like pushes you farther ahead on your journey. Yeah, it's like they have to be faced. It's getting you there closer. It's funny because the delays, it's actually going to get you there faster. Something about it. It's like a wave. It's like, whoosh, it's sending you faster. So Spirit's saying, don't be dismayed. You have faith. You're taking action. But now we have to just look at our emotions. Are our emotions reflecting our faith and actions? And there is absolutely zero condemnation or shame in this. We live on earth. We're meant to be emotional. It's fine to let worry and grief run through your body. That is super healthy. But they're saying, when you say, yes, I believe this is true for me, I'm going to take the steps now to pursue this or to go after this thing that I know is what I'm meant to be doing. When we face little obstacles that pop up where you're like, I didn't expect this to come up on the road to what I want. Spirit is saying it's okay to have anxiety or it's okay to have worry, but don't let it rule you. Even though we have faith and we're following that faith, we're like actually taking the steps or going through the processes, we'll almost believe that having anxiety or like questioning all the time what we're doing is going to somehow keep us safe. It's somehow going to protect us. And Spirit is saying like, no, not really. They're saying, let that worry or that fear or that feeling run through your body. Let it go. And when you can feel that it's done its time in your body, say, great, I am going to have peace. That divine timing is at play. It's almost like the greater the risk, the greater the reward. Almost like I'm already taking the steps forward, so I might as well just chill out. So what we want to do is we don't want to be in the mind. We want to be peaceful and confident in our bodies. And then we want to allow our bodies to tell us if there's actually a threat that we're going to need to sidestep on our journey. And we're going to ask and trust that our guides and our angels are going to come through and tell us if we need to move to the left or move to the right at any given moment. And let's go ahead and ask that right now. Let's go ahead and take a minute and ask our guides, our angels, the Holy Spirit, the universe, whatever you speak to, pray to, meditate to. We're going to say, we ask now that if there is any danger, any concern, anything that we need to know for ourselves, for our family, for our friends, for our business, for our health, that you would give us a little download, a little inner knowing, a little check in our spirit that comes with a sense of peace, but we have a knowing that we will move forward. We know that you will get through to us. We know that that will come. So in the meantime, we ask that you would give us peace and calm as we move through the daily things that we need to do, as we move through any delays. We ask that you would keep us safe and protect us and let us know what we need to know along this journey. Thank you. It feels like there is a humongous reward or a really large or important calling that you have. It's like what you were created for is so big that you can't expect it to happen overnight. It's kind of like creating a baby. Or that there are preparations for you that need to happen and preparations for the world that needs to happen first. And so it feels like everything is coming together and moving around for this to happen. But We got to get through the processes, because what we are going towards is something that takes time and preparation because of what it is, because of what we've asked for, because of what we were created for. I'm hearing the phrase, trust the process. Trust the process. You are taking all the right steps. You are doing your due diligence. Trust that the wave that you started out on will actually get you to shore. It's actually going to get you to shore. There's divine timing at play, and it is carrying you to the destination that you felt in your heart. I'm seeing this hero's journey. It kind of reminds me again of Moses in the Old Testament, where Spirit says, hey, you're going to go to Canaan. You're going to lead the people out of slavery in Egypt, and you're going to go to the land of milk and honey, the land of fertility. But he didn't expect, to have to go through the desert along the way. He didn't expect to have to part the Red Sea with his staff, or to create water that came out of a mountain. Spirit's saying you won't have to go through the desert the way Moses did, but they're just using that as an example that this is truly a hero's journey. This is truly kind of a large scale mission, meaning the change and effects it will have for lifetimes. Ooh, and Spirit's saying not all is as it appears. Interesting. That just came through really quickly. But they're saying that you are going to be creating so much evolution and change. If there's great change happening in humanity or in the collective, you're on the forefront of it. Whether you feel that way or not, you are, and you're living that. It's almost like you're forcing the energy of the earth and the energy of the collective to evolve with your very being, with every breath you take, with you being alive and moving forward, baby step by baby step. It's almost like there's resistance, not because it's not fated, it is, but it's because you're pushing up against the old ways of doing things. And you're pushing up against your old ways of doing things, and your ancestors' ways of doing things, and the entire world's way of doing things. And you must. So Spirit is saying you're creating great evolution, and you have to trust the promise that initially came to you, or the sense, or the push, or the download, or however you want to phrase it. You have to trust that promise. All the ancient men and women of old, they received these promises or these callings, but there was a journey to get there. There was this hero's journey. And so Spirit is saying, I think so often when these promises or these desires, these grand dreams, or these spiritual awakenings that happen to us, we think this is going to happen right now, or like in the near future. And that makes sense, because it's the messaging comes through with hope and inspiration and truth, and we can feel it. We're like, yes, we've always known this. Yes. But then Spirit is saying it's always been true. It already exists, but we have this 3D world that has to contend with that. And so there are processes that we have to go through, and things that have to happen, evolution that needs to happen. Trust the wave you came in on. And they're saying along this dark road, and again, they're saying dark, not as in scary or hopeless. They're saying the opposite. They're saying, oh, it's just the season right now of winter solstice. It's just the season, the energetic season. The sun is coming, don't worry. And we're going to have Christmas trees to remind us along the way that we're going in the right direction, and that there is hope and enlightenment and beauty and love, and that we can truly, truly trust this path that we're on. I don't know why, but I almost, as silly as this sounds, at the end of February, I almost feel inspired to get the little Christmas tree, even if it's a little fake Christmas tree. I'm totally judging myself right now, but I want to have a little Christmas tree in my office to remind me of what Spirit is saying, like little symbol of hope. Spirit is saying right now for you, the symbol of a Christmas tree, the symbol of a rainbow, and the symbol of a gold coin. I don't know why I'm getting those right now, but I am. I'm also hearing the symbol of a dragon. are promises that your dreams and what you have faith for will come to pass. The Christmas tree is a sign of hope in the darkness, that there is truly hope and that the light is coming again. The Christmas tree for you is a promise that the light is coming again. They're saying the gold coin is a promise that you will be fed and taken care of along the way, that you will be provided for. Spirit is saying the rainbow is a promise that the new beginning, what was promised to you, like when Noah was building the ark and then the flood came and then there was the rainbow, that Spirit was saying, hey, you got through this. Now there's a new beginning. There's new land. Good job. Spirit is saying the promise is the promise. It will come true. It's a promise. Spirit is saying the dragon means that you will overcome all obstacles. You will overcome. Remember these symbols when you see them. They're promises to you. I felt very called to pull some cards. I have so many different decks, and I always pick the decks that Spirit is pulling me towards. So these cards are so potent right now and incredible what came out. The first deck I'm using is Practical Magic, designed after the movie Practical Magic, always a favorite. And then we're also using the Fairy Oracle. So we're going to look at the Practical Magic deck first. The cards that came out is we have Grounding, we have Emotions, we have Inner Wisdom, Destiny, State of Mind, Strength, Possibilities, Awareness, and Beyond the Veil. So with Grounding and Emotions, I also have to say with the fairy cards, we have Go Outside. And with State of Mind here, what Spirit is saying is the energy right now, when we were hearing about winter solstice and I was using the metaphor of midnight, you know how things can always seem worse at night? Or life can feel really scary at night, or our worries can feel really big at night. And then in the morning, we're like, okay, whew. It's almost giving the state of mind we're in, our emotions, due to real things, due to the energy of everything that's going on in our lives, might feel really, really, really heavy. And so, first of all, on a very practical note, we are meant to ground. We're meant to go outside. Are we getting enough sunshine? Are we going for enough walks? That's on the practical side. There's something about touching the earth that can bring us a sense of peace in our bodies. Similar to when it's morning time and the sun is rising in the morning, we can feel so much better about things that we were concerned about the night before, just with that changing of the light. And so Spirit's saying, if this is like a winter solstice time in energy and we're headed towards the light, if we feel like we're becoming overwhelmed, there's a need to ground. There's a need to go outside. There's a need to get back to those basics of learning to self-sustain so that we can get back on the journey, get back on the road. Then we have Inner Wisdom and Destiny. Spirit is saying, like, your destiny, it's coming for you. You're not going to lose it. These delays are not sending you off the path. Spirit's saying, if anything, they're getting you there faster. Isn't that crazy? It really is like that book, Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters. Definitely read it if you feel called, or check it out at the library, because Spirit really is using this very, very intensely as kind of like an archetypal folktale of what's going on. Then we have Strength. There's that scene in Practical Magic where all the women, I think it's like the women of the neighborhood, get together with the Owen sisters. The community gets together and it's like there's strength in numbers. And I think it's even the women who were scared of the Owen sisters. They stopped judging and they all came together to help Nicole Kidman's character. What's her name? Lillian? I should know that, but I don't remember. Spirit is saying that you have allies in places that you don't expect. You may have allies that you don't even know of. You have more support than you know. There are more people who care about you than you know. It's so interesting. These women get together because there's a tragedy. They're in a really difficult situation and they have to ask for help, and they are shocked at the people that come through for them. They could have never imagined. And it's reminding me of, you know how sometimes when you go through really difficult life situations, whether it's a death or a breakup or something else, just a tragedy, you're kind of like, oh, I found out who my real friends are. And the people who I thought, maybe a couple of the people I thought were my real friends didn't show up at all, but a bunch of people did show up and I would have had no idea. So it's almost like difficult situations like that in your life, it can feel really painful to feel abandoned or to feel dismissed or disrespected or not loved or cared for or supported by people we thought were there for us. But it feels like this is such a blessing because you are actually so loved and supported by people you don't even know. Like you have angels in the wings, but real humans in real life, people that are just freaking dying to support you or like dying to be your ally or dying to be your friend. You have more support than you realize, Spirit is saying. And Spirit is also saying with this card that you also, on top of that, have angels and a whole host of ancestors and a whole host of spirit guides that are literally pulling all the stops and all the strings to get you to where you're going. You have so much support. You are not alone. Then we have the card Garden Gate Possibilities. With this card, this is giving like in the book, Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters, Spirit's saying all of these delays or choice points, they are giving you massive opportunities. Each one of those is going to deliver your destiny. They're giving you opportunities. There are also surprise things that are going to happen that are positive, that are these Christmas trees. It's interesting too, because in the fairy card, we have temptation and we have moon energy. And what that's giving me with possibilities, Garden Gate, and the practical magic, it's actually reminding me of that Taylor Swift song. Oh, what is it? What's the song that has Garden Gate in it? Okay, Cruel Summer. I believe in that song, there's like the insinuation or the feeling of I made this choice in the summertime and I broke my own rules. I broke the rules somehow and I broke my own heart, but I also had the time of my life. But it feels like the Garden Gate in this card feels almost like the Wheel of Fortune or feeling like a choice point again. And so Spirit's saying, do not make any assumptions about the possibilities that are coming to you. Like almost like things that look like a lot, like they're going to give you a lot of money or things that look really, really good. They could lead you, it's like there could be some kind of pitfall there. But then it feels like in the book that Spirit keeps bringing up that these people that you meet along your path, these choice points, these things that look like delays or like they're taking something from you are literally going to give you more than you could ever imagine. They are the key to your destiny. Just like in the book, her helping, oh, it's a snake. I believe she helps a snake and a boy and an old man or woman, something like that. And all of them are actually her destiny in disguise. And because she follows her inner awareness and her inner light, she gets to her destiny, and all those things that felt like delays or sacrifices were actually getting her there. The Garden Gate feels like possibilities, temptation, moon energy, all is not as it seems. Trust your inner light. And then we have light and shine from within. We have inner awareness. We have beyond the veil. So it's like seeing beyond the veil. So we also have the Toad card at the bottom of the deck. The Toad, oh my gosh, the Toad has come to me anytime Spirit is making me a promise where it's this is the person for you, or the person for you will not appear as you think. They'll show me like a toad. It feels very much like the Princess and the Frog, where the prince is a frog, but secretly he's a prince. That's this energy of what you're going through. Just because something looks like a toad doesn't mean it's not your destiny. Doesn't mean it's not riches. Doesn't mean it's not a kingdom. Doesn't mean it's not the dream job. So Spirit is saying this is like the time for discernment. This is the time to completely trust your inner awareness. Spirit is saying not all is as it seems, and that is a good thing. That is a good thing. Anything that can be making you feel stuck, complacent, hopeless, they're like, no. trust that inner awareness. Trust the wave you came in on. Trust, trust, trust. We have protection as well. We have believe in magic. You are protected. You are so protected on this journey. We have solitude too. This feels like it's giving loneliness or isolation. And Spirit is saying that you have more people that support you than you know. You are not alone on this journey. And you're not alone in spirit either with this protection card. You're not alone. All right, I'm going to post these cards and a picture of the book too. All right, I'm sending you lots of love. Bye.